All right, hello everyone. This is Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College, and this morning I tried to go through the chapters 1 through 6 pretest, and my internet connection kept going up and down and up and down, and it was not good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to recreate both the chapters 1 through 3 pretest and the chapter 1 through 6 pretest right now. Then I'll have a few words to say about some other stuff you might want to look at before you take the test tomorrow. I'm using Camtasia, which means I don't need to use the internet. All right, and so there shouldn't be any problem with this going down. All right, so I'm just going to take this from the top and see if I can make this a little bit smaller so I can have some screen room here. So number one, create a new folder in your Git repository named Pretest. Well, I already have that, I think. It says place all web pages inside of this folder. Do not delete this folder after the test. Well, I'm going to create a folder here that I'm going to call. In fact, I'm going to call this AWD1000 Pretests. Okay? So in here, I'm going to create a folder that's called P1. All right, and this will be the first pretest, and in just a few minutes, then I will make folder P2. All right, so that's what's going to be in there. So let me make this real small because there's no reason not to. All right, so let's just follow the steps here. Create a new folder. In P1, create a website with these three things in it. So let's do this. Let's bring P1 up in code. All right. And again, I'm going to bounce back and forth between this, but it says that we should create 3 pages. Index.html, about.html, and contact.html. So let's do that first. So here's my P1, and I'm going to make index.html, hit enter. I'll do my exclamation point tab and call this index. Oops. All right, make another one. Call it about.html. All right, do the same thing. Make this about. And finally make one more. We're going to call contact.html. And that will be contact. Now, if I ran any of these right now, of course they'd be empty. And that's totally fine. All right, because there's nothing in the bodies. So let's take a look at what we've got in here, what we have to do. That one. There we go. So I created a new folder that I called AWD1000 pretests. Okay. And I'm going to place all the pages in there. Now I just made index.html, about.html, and contact.html. All right, so we've got 15 things to do. I'm now going on to number 3. Use relative hyperlinks to connect all 3 pages. When you're on any page, you should be able to get to the other pages as well as link back to itself. The hyperlink should be found at the bottom of each page. Well, I only want to do this once and then copy it over a couple times. So let's do it here, and I'll hit, do this. So UL, and I will have my LIs here, and this will be a href equals index.html, and that will be for home. And let me copy this. This will be about and about. And this will be contact and contact. All right, now I've got that done, but I've only got it on my contact page. So let me copy this. In fact, let me do a file save all for right now. Go to the about page here, hit enter a few times, paste it in so I've got that in there too. All right, and then let's go to index, hit enter a few times, paste that in so I've got that in there too. So file, save all. And let's go in, and on each page, we'll put an H1 tag in because this is, I think, what we're supposed to do. I'll say this is the index page. And then for about, we'll say this is the About page. And then finally for the contact, we'll say this is the contact page. Now let's do a file, save all, and make sure we can go back and forth between pages. All right, so, all right. Now technically, I guess I am out on the internet here, but there's home, there's about, there's contact, which I spelled wrong, about, and home, etc. So you can see they're all there. All right, let me get rid of that, and let me change this to contact in all three of these. That's part of the problem with copy and paste, but that's okay. So save all. I've got those done. So the hyperlinks should be found at the bottom of each page. They are. On the index page, use an H1 to display home. I said this is the home page. 2 paragraphs about your favorite TV show or hobby. All right. And I'm just going to put some garbage text in here. So this is, I want to say this is the home page. All right. And we'll put in here a paragraph. And I'll put some lorem. And I'll put in 40. That's fine. And we'll do it again. Another lorem with 40. Okay, now I've got that in there. It's not showing very well, so let me word wrap. All right, so now on my home page, if I go back to this, now you see what I have here. Okay, all right, let's just continue on. Okay, on the About page, use an H1 heading with the word to display About, and use an unordered list of bullets listing your 5 favorite foods. Alrighty. All right, I don't know if I have 5 favorite foods, but that's fine. Put that in here, my 5 favorite foods. And we'll put it in again as an unordered list. And I'll just have 5 different kinds of meat. Okay, steak, which I actually am not a big fan of, but that's okay. Fish, shrimp, chicken, and pork. Okay, so file, save all. Again, let's go back and look at it. And this is the About page. So there are my 5 favorite foods. Okay, let's just continue on. On the contact page, use an H1 heading to display contact me and an address tag with first name, last name, then a line break, address, line break, city, okay, etc., line break. Okay, and then bold your, I'm going to grab all of this. Just put it in there as a comment just so I have it, because I'll forget something otherwise. All right, so I'm the contact page here. And I think this is supposed to say contact me, but that's, again, either way, that's all fine. All right, so I'm going to come in here and I'm going to put this all in as a comment. So on the contact page is an H1 heading. I've already got that to display contact me and an address tag. So I'm going to do that right now. Address and first name, last name, line break, address, that is Rankin's address, city, state, zip, so am I missing anything? Address with first name, last name, line break, address, line break, city, state, zip, line break, email address, and phone number. So I need another line break here. jpscott@rankin.edu with a line break, and finally 314-286-3675. All right, so make sure I didn't forget anything else. Phone number. Feel free to use a bogus address or phone number. Bold your name. All right, so this right in here, the name, I'm going to put strong tags in. All right, and italicize all other information. All right, let's take a look and see if that worked. So I'll do a save all and go back. I am now on the contact page. So there it is. Looks like it italicized this too, and I don't know why, but that's all okay. Everything that's in there, as far as I can tell, looks okay. All righty. All right. So continuing on here, add a new folder named CSS, put an external style sheet in there, and link it to each one of the pages. All right, so let's create a new folder, CSS. In there, we'll add a new file, which will be styles.css. I like to put something in there just to make sure it's working. So body, background color, red, like that. And I have not yet linked it, so I will do that right now. So I've got one linked. I now have two linked. I now have all three linked. Save all. When I come back, these should all be red now. Red, red, and red. So that's all working. All right. Let's continue. Whoops. Let's continue on then. I don't want that open. All right. We just did this and we linked it, created a nice looking background color and font in styles.css. Well, that's not what I have right now. So let's create that. And I don't know if this will be nice looking or not, but I'm going to put in here fuchsia. And I will put in for my color just white. And again, I can do a file save all here and double check and make sure that's working. Okay, so there's home, there's about, there's contact. Okay, I'm not saying that's great, but it looks presentable. All right, so create a nice looking, I just did that. Choose 3 sans serif fonts and place them in the body selector using the font family attribute. All right, so I'm going to put in here sans serif font examples. All right. Most popular sans serif fonts. So you can see that there's, what is it, etc., 22. So something with Helvetica. All right. So we'll put it in Helvetica because I can tell that that is a sans serif font. So we will say here font family. No, not there. For the whole thing, we'll put that in here as well. So font family Helvetica. So there's Arial, Helvetica, and sans serif. Okay, so that should be okay. I could always, if we were asked to do more than that, 3 sans serif, so I've got them in there now. Oh, there were serif fonts. I'm sorry, I chose sans serif. All right, so I think we were told not to choose Times New Roman. So I'm going to put in here Times. And I'm going to grab this one. I'm not going to use Times New Roman, but I'll do it like this. So I'll have Georgia in there for my font. So Georgia, Times, and serif. All right. Change the size on the About H1 tag only using internal or embedded CSS. For number 10, all right. For which one? Sorry. For the About H1 tag. All right, so go to About, go into here. We're going to add a style tag. That's the embeddedness. And for H1, we will say font size. I'll just use pixels, okay? And we'll say 60 pixels. You should know whether or not that worked very quickly by having us go over it. Whoops, by having us go over to here. All right. And when we go to About, you can see this is the About page. So you can see how much bigger that is than the other ones are. Okay. Use inline CSS to change the color of the H1 headings on each page. Okie dokie. So on these H1s, we've got the font size change there, but in here I'm going to say style equal, I think it's style, color orange. I don't know why, but that's just what I chose. So there's my new H1 tag here. Let's see if it works, first of all. So on my About, if that changed, is that orange? It is. So that worked. So we will add that to our index. And we will add that to our contact. And just so you can see that indeed they all do work, there's home, there's About, and there's contact. Okay. Evenly distribute the white space on the left and right sides of each page using a wrapper div and the margin property. Now I'm going to do it the way that I've always done it. Let's see if this works. All right. If it doesn't, then I'll have to go and change it. So I'm going to, in my body here, I'm going to take everything and put it into a div with an ID equal wrapper. And I'm going to make the ending div right before the end of the body, so right there. Okay, so I've got this div like that. All right, so file, save all. This is on the contact page because it's just happened to be the one I had open. And I'm going to say ID wrapper. And I'm going to say here margin auto. So let's see if this page looks different. This one doesn't have it. Oh, that is the contact page. So that didn't work. So how to center a web page CSS. Okay, how to center a website, W3 Schools. How can you see what they use here? Classical content. See, they've got margin auto, and that's what I had. All right, let's put a max width in there too. That's fine. We'll use the same thing they have. All right. So max width 500 pixels, margin auto. Let's see if that works. That contact page was moved over now. You may or may not be able to tell. All right. It may not look centered on the page, but basically it is now. So let me add that to the other two pages. All right. So the About, again, div ID equal wrapper. and in the index as well. All right, file, save all, and let's look at it. This has been moved over, so has this, and so has this. Okay, so that's done. What is left? Add HTML comments at the top of each page explaining what the page is about, and do the same thing with the CSS. All right, so let's go back to here, and let's start with the CSS. Okay. This is the CSS file for pretest number 1. Okay, there's that. So file, save all, go to the index, and at the top, doesn't matter where I do it, but I'll do it right at the beginning of the body before I do anything. And I'll say, this is the home page for pretest number 1. Okay. This is the about page for pretest number 1. And finally, this is the contact page for pretest number 1. File, save all. All right. It's not going to look any different, so I don't have to bring it up. All right, so that's all done. Now validate each page. Okay. So I'll go into here and do this. That is, I will come up to here, and I'm going to type in here HTML validator. There it is. And we will use the upload, choose file. And I'm just taking it from the top here. Whoops, that is the wrong one. So this is, where is pretest? There it is. Pretest 1. Let's just start it. There's index, check. It's telling me with trailing slashes, but it says the document checking was completed and there were no errors. All right. So we'll do the second one. And that was about, check, probably get the same stuff. All right. And then finally, index, not index, I'm sorry, contact. Contact, check, and they all look okay. They all were successful. So now I'm going to type in CSS validator. That's the jigsaw. And again, we'll do it by file upload, choose a file. And as you can see, everything looks good. Okay. All right. Give me just a second here. I'll have to pause just for a moment. All right, so I have finished the pretest number 1, chapters 1 to 3. So what I'm going to do quickly is to go back to this pretest number 1, grab everything that was there, copy it to the clipboard, and put it inside of pretest number 2. Okay, so now that's pretest number 2, and it's got the same stuff in it. So to be sure here, I'm going to close this. I'm going to exit here. So I want to close this folder, and I want to open up the one for pretest number 2. So let me I'll just open up, open it with code. So P2, open with code. All right, so now I've got it. So let's start the second pretest. So let me close this first one. Okay, and I shouldn't have to save anything. And I'll open up the second one then. Oh, I keep hitting the wrong button on here. I'm sorry. All right. So create a new folder. I already did this. Copy everything over. Good. That's done. On the About page, include an absolute full URL to the Rankin Technical College AWD program. All right. Make sure to use the target equal underscore blank, etc. So I'm going to do that first on the About page. Now, what you should not do here is something like this. You really shouldn't say, I'll put it into a paragraph tag here, but you shouldn't say like, click here and put the hyperlink there. That's just considered bad practice. All right. And I'll say the link to the Rankin Technical College application, and let me wrap that, application and web development program. That's what I'm going to want to put the hyperlink around. Okay, so I'm going to put an A there, href equals, not sure where that'll be exactly, but we'll fix that in just a moment. And we'll put end that and put a period on the end. Okay, get rid of that. Now let's find where that lives. So I'm going to go out to Rankin's site, rankin.edu, and I'm going to search up here. Come on. This is the problem I've been having all day. Let me close just about everything I can close here. I can close that too. So it says my connection was interrupted. It says the internet is up, so it's back up again. So there's Rankin, and here I'm going to type in AWD. Hit enter to search. Programs, application, and web development. There it is. Okay. So here will be the link right there. There it is. File, save all. Let me bring this up in live server, or try to. All right. So the link to Rankin Technical College, click there. There it is. But unfortunately, when I set that up, I didn't follow all of the instructions. So what I'm supposed to do right there is I'm supposed to open that up into a new window. So target equals underscore blank. Try that again. File, save all, jump back to here, and open that up again. Sorry. So open that with live server. So you see I have two links open, my mail and this one. But if I bring this up and click on it now, I now have three links open, and there it is. So there is number one. All right, use the style.css to change all H1 tags to white text with a fuchsia background color. Well, that's going to be hard because I think I've made my background fuchsia in here now. See how it's fuchsia with white? All right, so let's change that. I'll change that. In fact, we'll just change it like this. I'll do it just so you see it. Let's be Halloweenish. No, I don't want to do that. It's not Halloween. Okay, so let's come back here. I'm going to open up in CSS my styles file. All right, let's just change this. Okay, I'm going to make this gold, and I'm going to make this green. Okay, and now I'm supposed to come in my H1s. I'm supposed to make them, the background color is supposed to be fuchsia, and the color is supposed to be white. Okay, This is probably going to look very ugly, but it's totally fine. All right, so you see that now. This doesn't look white though, so I'll have to fix that. So I've got that. There's my About page. There's the home page. There's the contact page. Okay, and I believe that orange is from something else that I set up, so let's check that. Color green, that's okay. Something was in here with orange, wasn't it? Background, color fuchsia, color white. It's not showing though, and I don't know why. File, save. That should be white. I think it might be the way that it's showing, but it showed as white before, so I don't know. Okay, I'm not sure what the problem is. Well, let's see if we can make it a different color then. I mean, it's really not that important, so let's try here. Color, just blue. All right, no idea if that'll work or not. So color blue. And that is not picking this up. Oh, I know what it is. I can tell you exactly what it is. All right. And that is we put inline CSS in. If you remember, and that's overriding it. That shows that inline overrides. So let's come in here. We'll make this white again. That's fine. But in each one of these files, in the H1 tag, remember, we came in here and said color orange. Okay. Let's change the color in here just so you see it. We'll change the color to blue. All right. And we'll change the color to blue in all of them. So this will also be blue. I could make it white. It doesn't really matter. In fact, let's just do that because that was what the instructions said. So white, white, and white. Do a file, save all. And now they're white on each page. White, white, and white. Okay. All right, let's continue on. Apply a background image only to the About page. Set the text color to something that'll contrast with it well. All right, so the text is easily readable. You choose the image. So let's go out and find an image. So I'm going to go out here. Got that open, so I'm going to go out to images. .google.com. And let's put in here, I don't know, how about sunrise? Okay, and I'll grab this. Try to grab something that's kind of light. I'm going to try that one right there. So I'm going to save my image, and I want to save it. Into CSS. No, not into CSS. Let's make a new folder here that we'll call images. And in here, I'm going to call it just sunset.jpg. Okay, I now have that in there. I don't know what size it is, but I don't remember how to put this in, so I'm going to go to and say background image W3 schools. All right, background images W3 schools. I'm going to use the example that they show right there. All right, and I'll just make a couple changes to it. So I'm going to go back into here, and it was the About page, I believe. So I've already got a style tag in here. And actually, I want to apply that to the body, which I think should go on the top. So don't worry, I'll fix this in just a moment. So body, background image, URL, just like that. And let's end this. All right, this is wrong. So this will be .. / images . .. / images / I don't know if this is in the wrong place. Oh, there's images. I don't know why it's doing that, but it is. And this will be sunset.jpg. It's not recognizing this. .. / images. Should be, but it's not. So file, save all. Let's see if it recognizes it on the page. All right. There's my about page, and you can see in the background, there is the sunset. Okay, and it's in there quite a bit. And let's just quickly look here. Background image on a page. There's a repeat. That's what it's doing now. If we had no repeat, it would be small. Let's do the cover. All right, so we'll say we'll do all these. We're going to say background repeat, no repeat, background attachment fixed, and background size cover. So let's see what that looks like. So I have to add it here to the body. Right there. There. All right, so file, save all. Let's go back and look at our work now. Now we have just one sunset, and it's covering everything. Okay? All right, and again, I'm going to save this for you when I get done in just a few minutes. All right, so add an image. I just did that. Oh, here we want to onto a contact page, and we want a picture of ourselves. Okie dokie. Let's try something here, because it'll allow me to show you floats, and hopefully I'll do it right. We'll go to the contact page, and where it says the H1 here, it says contact me. All right, I'm going to put this, and I'm going to add another style tag here, and I'm going to say H1, H1 float left. And then I'm going to say image float right. All right, so let's see if this works. So there's that. Let's make another div, and we'll put this whole thing in here, both the H1 and the image. We're going to put them both inside of that div. So I'm going to put this in here. I'm going to say I don't have this image yet, but I'll get it in a second. Image source equal, and again, .. / images / it'll be me.jpg. It doesn't exist yet. And I'll say alt equals image of me. And that should be sufficient, I would think. So let's go out here. I am going to go out to images.google.com, and I'm going to put in here Jeff Scott, Rankin Technical College. There I am. So let's do a save image as. Put it right there, and I'm going to call it me.jpg. All right, now that's probably going to be pretty big, but I don't even know, so let's look. That's not too bad. So let's look at it and see what it looks like. So we got to go over to our contact page. Whoa, it's not showing. Contact me, and that's not showing. So let's look. Images me.jpg, image source equals .. alt equals image of me. That looks correct. Trying to figure out what it doesn't like here. I'm sure it's the floating. All right, it's got to be the floating, to be honest with you. So let's not even do any floating. Let's just get rid of that float left and float right, because I don't want to waste my time or yours going through that. So, all right, so there it is. There's the picture. All right, so I've been able to put a picture in there. All right, so we got that. Then we need a tell link, and we'll need a mail to. So let's get both of those. And I'm going to check again into my old friend W3 Schools. W3 Schools, tell link. And there it is. So I'm just going to grab the example that they have there. And again, it's supposed to go on the contact page, so I will put it down here after the address. All right, let me get rid of that. There we go, and let me word wrap. Okay, so this will be a label. It'll say enter your phone number, and then here will be the actual phone number. So let's type tell. ID is phone, the name is phone, and the pattern is it expects it to be 3 9s followed by a hyphen, and 3 9s and a hyphen, and 4 9s. All right, so this is the idea here. It's that tell link. So file, save all. It reformatted it for me. That's totally fine. Let's go back into here, get rid of that, and we can get rid of that, and bring this back. And there's my tell link right there. Okay, so I can put that in. I do not have the ability to make a phone call from here. Technically, it's looking for it to look like this, but you can see nothing's happening. Okay, all right, so that's done. Now I'll do a mail to link. Okay, so again, I'll go back to W3 Schools. Mail to link. All right, so there's create a mail to link. There's in the docs, but that's okay. I'll do this. Grab that and put it in here as well. Let's put in a couple line breaks. And I'll just say in a paragraph tag here, feel free to drop me an email at, all right, and I will change that to jpscott@rankin.edu, and let's put that up here and just change it to feel free to drop me an email. All right, so feel free to drop me an email. There it is. If I put my mouse here, what I should see is way in the bottom left-hand corner here is it says mail to jpscott@rankin.edu. All right. In fact, I don't like that it says drop me an email. I don't like the way that it reads. So I'll say feel free to drop me and do it there. And we'll put the ending a tag here. Okay, which means I don't need this a tag anymore. Okay, I like that a little better. So feel free to drop me an email. There you go. So we've got that done. Replace the disk on the unordered list of bullet items with your 5 foods with the image of a star. So let's do that. Again, I will go out to Google Images. And I'm going to type in here star and grab one. This one looks as good as anything else. So I'm going to save the image as and put it out here. and I will call it star.png. Then to make it smaller, what I'll do is, there it is. I'm going to right mouse click on it, and I'm going to choose Open with Paint. There it is. I'm going to click right here. All right, and under File, oops, not there. I don't know what I'm doing. So what do I want to do here? I want to go to Resize Pixels, and I'm just going to make it 10 by 10. Be nice and small. It's real little. All right, but that'll be fine. So save all, or save, I should say, and close that. All right, so there that is. And again, it's now 10 by 10. I could actually have used CSS and done it. Might have made the star look funky doing it like that, though. So again, I'm going to come in here and say W3 schools, changing list style type. Okay, there it is. Oh, and where is it? List style type. I want the one that's going to have an example in here someplace of using a URL. To an image. It's list style image. That's the problem. Okay, I'm just going to grab their example, which is in here someplace. Non-URL demo. So that's what I want. Okay. And I'm going to do it in here. This is my unordered list. I'm going to give it an ID. So I'm going to say, oops, I don't want that one. I want the ID for my favorite foods. So I want to make sure I'm changing the right one is what I'm saying. There it is. So this UL, I'm going to say ID equals favorite foods. Okay. So file, save all here, come back to here. Pound sign, favorite foods. That unordered list. In fact, I could do it. I think I should be able to do it like this. We'll find out. List style image. The URL again will be /images/star.ping. All right, you'll know right away whether or not it worked. Save all. Jump back here. Jump back there. And where is it? It's the About page. And there's my stars. Okay. What's left? Create a nice looking footer for each page. Have it have your name. Copyright. Let's just grab all. In fact, I'll leave it like this. I'm going to come in here. I don't want that. So what is that supposed to have? It should have my name, the copyright symbol, the year, all rights reserved, and that should be fine. And I want to bold all of it and give it a nice looking background and text color. All right, so X. So let's come in here and we'll put it into one and copy it into the other two. Let's just go to the index page here and down at the bottom. All right, that's going to be my footer. Just like that. All right, so that looks good. And let's copy it to the other two pages. So File, Save All. And we'll come up to Styles, and we will change our footer. So footer, it was supposed to be bolded, so we'll say font weight bold. And I'm going to say background color, we'll use beige. And for font color, we'll say brown. Okay, file, save all again. Let's go back and look at it. There it is. Let's make sure it's on all the pages. And it is. Okay, so I've now done both pretests for you. All right, so they're both there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this AWD pretest that we've got right here. I'm going to right mouse click, do a git bash here, and do my git init, git add dot, git commit -m. I'm going to put in there AWD1000 pretests 1 and 2. Hit enter. There that is. Now I've got to go and make a thing called AWD1000 pretests. And that's available, which is good. There's the repo. Boom. This. I always like to check it with a git remote -v and git push -u origin master. Once it spins, that's always a good sign. There wasn't much in it, so let me refresh. And there it is. So here is the repo. And I will put that out here. So I have it. All right, so very, very quickly, I'm going to go and I'm done with this for now. And I'm going to go out to Red Shelf. All right, you see my internet is down again. Darn it. Oh, my goodness. And it's up again. Okay. And I want to spend 5 minutes quickly showing you the other stuff that you should be aware of for the test. Okay? So, all right, let me go back to start. All right, nothing from chapter 1. Chapter 2, you should know how to validate a page, be it a CSS page or an HTML page. You should be able to use HTML to structure. So let's look at 4, 5, and 6 here. All right. So in here, all right, you should know measurements. So you should know how to use pixels if you have to, or rems or ems, etc. Color, I've shown you. I use the regular color names. If you want to use RGB, or if you want to use the hex code, or you want to use the color name, that's all fine. There'll be nothing in here with hue, saturation, and light. With text, I showed you right there font size. We've done that several times. We did a font family. You should know how to add shadows. So let me just go to that shadow page right there. And I'm just going to grab the example that they have. All right, so there it is. I'm just going to literally steal it. So I'm going to say here H1 color blue and text shadow -2 px -2 px 4 px red don't even know if I still have this open. Good, I do. Let's go to just grab the index page. That's totally fine. And I will put in here a style tag. All right, that says what we want to do for this. And one more time. There. Now, File, Save All. And when I go back and bring this up, you'll notice I now have a shadow. I'm not going to resave this one. All right, in fact, I guess I can, But let me do it. Well, I'll wait till I'm all done, see if there's anything else I have to change in here. All right. What the heck, I've even got open with some of these, but that's okay. All right. You should know how to float, and I did not do a good job of showing you that. So I'm going to come in here and type in here W3 schools float. All right, float property. You should know how to do something like one of these examples. So let's see. Here's a float left right there. So I want you to float around an image. We could have even added padding here. All right. Here's if I change it, there's the float right, and there's no floating. I don't want that. All right. You'll either have to do a float left or a float right. So what I'll do is I'm going to grab that URL and I'm going to put it into the CSS. I'm going to say float example shown below. So there's that. Save here, save again. All right. And there's nothing with relational or combinational. I'm not talking about those now. You might have to, I would say, look at these pseudo classes. All right. Maybe we'll do something with the first letter in a paragraph. I don't know. I'm rewriting the test tonight. All right. How cascade style rules work. That's fine. And there's always examples of all this stuff at the end of each chapter. They give you the HTML. They give you the CSS. All right. I can't really test you on the developer tools. Okay. So that's it for that chapter. The box model, you should understand how it works. You should understand how to use padding. You should understand how to use margins. You should understand how to use a border. All right. Like I said, I'm rewriting the test to add some of this stuff on here. All right. And the background stuff I already showed you. How about a quick gradient? All right. So if we go here, let's grab the gradient example that they have here. So it says for the 3 divisions. I'll just use this one that they have because it's I like the middle one best, I think. In fact, I'm not going to use any of them. It's going to just screw up the way that the site looks. But notice page 165. In fact, let's do this. Let's see if I go and do a W3 schools gradient. All right, there's a gradient background right there. Let's see if we can find one. So here is one that goes from red to yellow. I know what I'm going to do because this will make it a lot easier. I'll go back to here. I will add a new page. And I'll call it test.html. All right, and this is going to have in it not really much of anything. All right, but I am going to put in here a style tag, and I'll put the gradient in there. So #grad, don't worry about it. We'll fix it in a minute. And it's all the stuff in there. All right, so I'm going to say body. and I'm going to say ID equal grad, which is short for gradient. All right, let's see if that one works. And there's my page. My gosh, that looks terrible. Okay, so let's see. Why does it look that bad? Background image, linear gradient, red, yellow. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I don't have anything else there, but there was nothing in the example. Top to bottom. Try it yourself. I'm going to use the exact example that they have right here. All right, so I'm going to steal that. Put the whole thing in there. File, save all. All right, see if that fixes. I think it's because I did it here, where I said the body equal gradient. So how did they do it? Do it just with a div. That's much better than saying body equal. I think that's why it looks so funky. So we would just put in here a div with an ID equal grad1, file, save all. Let me first, because I'll forget otherwise. All right, so let's go back and look in here. All right, now I'll need to put in test.html, not itest, test. There's my gradient. Okay, so in here, I'm going to put in, this will say gradient example shown below. There that is. And float example. All right. Here's an example again of a web page that uses this. You should know border radius as well. And then finally, because this will just take a second, on the last page here, all right, for the layout, the only thing you really, well, you probably have to do some two-column work. So take a look at this. But these 4 ways of using positioning on page 200, again, I'm going to come in here and say CSS position property. All right, and there it is. And there's examples here of all of them. Static, absolute, etc. So I'm going to give you that. And I'm going to put in one more comment here. And that is everything. All right, so let me do a file, save all. And let me take this and upgrade this again. So get push again. All right, it says everything is up to date. I don't know if that's right or not, but let's see. Pretests. It says 13 minutes ago. I don't know if all those changes took. Oh, I know why they didn't take, because all I did was push. So git add dot, git commit -m, extra changes and URLs. All right, let's see, get status. Okay, get push minus U origin master. Okay, now let's see if that updated. It should be saying right now. 14 minutes ago, now P2. All right, so you now have everything in there.